Some of the most memorable events often occur when they're least expected. This played out for Matt and I recently after we climbed into a redneck blind overlooking the crabapple food plot.
Matt and I are in a redneck blind in crabapple field. This is the same spot where Adam tagged a doe a couple weeks ago. Got a strong southeast wind, and deer have really been using the eagle seed broadside, so I suspect we're gonna see some deer tonight. Hopefully get some deer in range.
That afternoon was unseasonably warm, and we were hoping to fill a doe tag. The size of our dreams quickly changed as I recognized the antlers coming out the far side of the field.
Oh, let a good deer come out up there. That's a good deer. Hey, that's Andy. That's Andy. That's Andy. That's definitely Andy. That's a mature buck. That's what a mature buck says. I looked up. I knew that was a mature buck before I could even see antlers. And I said, oh my gosh. Before I even saw antlers, I saw that chest and said, man, that's a good deer. 132. Andy's in the house, folks. Probably 400 yards from where he found the shed. First time I've seen Andy in person. Unless I saw him as a button buck or something.
To our surprise, as the afternoon progressed, a few other bucks entered the plot, including another hit lister we call Head Turner.
Losing light quickly, but it's been an incredible afternoon. Got Andy, our #1 hit list buck, about 115 yards that way. One 4-year-old we call Head Turner. A couple good 3-year-olds down here. I think we've seen 8 or 10 does and fawns, so incredible afternoon. Hopefully someone close the distance soon, but if not, we're gonna have Adam come clear the field with the young hog, so we're not alerting deer to any danger associated with the stand.
Even though neither buck came within range, we put together another piece of the handy puzzle, and I believe we're putting enough pieces together that we'll be able to make a great picture soon.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops, also by RECONYX, Trophy Rock, Eagle Seed, Nikon, Winchester, Dead Downwind, Antler Dirt, Lacrosse Footwear, Blood Sport Arrows, Flatwood Natives, Morel Targets, Caldwell, Hooks Custom Calls, Montana Decoy, Summit Tree Stands, Drake Non-Typical Clothing, House Lubricator, Genesis No-Till Drill, Yamaha, Fourth Arrow, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
That's good. That'll be good and tender.
That's a good one, Pop.
I like good and tender meat.
As many of you know, my father was diagnosed with a form of serious cancer about a year ago. There were more than 40 masses of cancer found in his chest and abdomen. After many months of prayer and several bouts of chemotherapy, a recent CT scan didn't find any sign of the cancer in my dad. My dad is cancer-free. What a huge blessing, and I want to take time to personally thank all the Growing Deer viewers that prayed intentionally for my dad. Throughout that entire tough season of my dad's life, I maintained faith that he would get healed and we would hunt again. It seemed fitting that on my dad's 86th birthday, he felt able to join me on a hunt. Dad, Matt, and I selected a redneck bell blind on the edge of a food plot we call Gobbler Knob. A RECONYX camera we were using to monitor that food plot showed a pretty good pattern of deer and turkey using that plot during the afternoons.
86 years old. I love to hunt. The boy's good enough to let me come down here and hunt with him. I really enjoy it. I love to hunt, fish. I look forward to every year. As long as I live, I'm gonna try it. Thank you for everything, son.
And today's my dad's birthday. He's 86 today, and the first time he's really felt good about going hunting after his chemotherapy treatment. Doctor says he's cancer-free, so that's a huge blessing. Want to thank all the GrowingDeer family for praying for my dad, because here we sit at 86 years old in a blind, getting ready to get some venison and take it home.
Of course, Dad had a green light to tag anything he wanted. He had archery, deer, and turkey tags in his pocket, but our main mission was to enjoy the hunt. Not long into the hunt, a flock of longbeards made their way down the road and entered the plot. It appeared these turkeys were going to drift in the range as they continued feeding through the plot, and Dad was rock solid on the Caldwell field pod. If you had to hold the crossbow up all that time, I doubt anyone could make the shot, but the field pod was saving the day. Before the turkeys got in range, Matt spotted movement out the left window.
It's a 6-pointer. You can certainly shoot it if you want, Dad.
Antlers appeared on the edge of the plot, and now Dad had to make a decision. Which tag was he going to try and field? This buck makes his way into the plot and instantly starts feeding, but he's out of range. As the buck continues feeding towards the center of the plot, I know Dad's crossbow is dialed in at 40 yards, and I'm confident he can make the shot. After watching this buck long enough and knowing Dad's not been able to hunt for a long time, I knew his trigger finger was itching for an opportunity. Dad settled the third reticle of the Nikon crossbow scope on the buck's vitals and let the blood sport fly.
You got it, you got it, you got it.
Even though the buck reacted to the noise of the crossbow, I was confident in the shot placement and knew there'd be a buck at the end of the trail.
But you made a good shot. You made a good shot.
Thank you, son.
You did great. That's a great shot. That's your first deer with the crossbow. How'd you like that?
Man, that's like shooting a rifle.
Bunch of big gobblers, right?
I was tempted to shoot this big, and he had a 10-inch beard right there.
Well, you got a shotgun turkey tag too. You can come back here with your shotgun.
Well, if you can get your mother to let me come.
You know she'll let you come.
Matt was also confident the buck didn't make it far out of plot. So we sat back in the blind, enjoyed talking about the hunt and just reliving the moment before we slid out of blind and took up the trail.
That's what carried me through all them prayers and all them watching over me and everything. I knew I meant to hunt again. I'm lucky to have a good wife that'll stay with me on my hunting. Has for 67 years, and that's all man can ask for. She wants me to try to hunt, and that's what I need to do.
All right, Matt and I come get out of blind and go find your buck.
All right, you ready to go look for it?
Yeah, we'll leave you here. Pretty rocky, pretty tough walking out there, and we'll go find your buck and drag him back for you to see him, okay?
All right.
I don't know if you can get the full detail, but that's like 2 inches or more. I'm feeling the shoulder, and that baby is, that baby's shattered. Oh yeah. That's the end of havoc right there, folks. Drilled through at 44 yards. Of course, blood all over here. Let's see. So that arrow is stuck in the off shoulder. I mean, like, it's not coming out easy. And I don't want to unscrew the broadhead because I want to get cut cleaning it. It's not the buck. Oh, that was cool watching the hunt. Said he fought through it, never gave up on those tough days. I remember one night in ICU, I didn't think he'd ever come home, let alone hunt again. That was a really tough 48 hours. All right, let's get out of here while we got light. Wow, what another great story for the Havik. This arrow traveled through most of the body cavity and penetrated all the way through the off shoulder. See this right here? That's where your broadhead's sticking out the shoulder on the far side.
You're kidding. Well, if he didn't make it but 50 yards, I've seen a lot of people, deer run with a bullet in them, that for.
Oh yeah, further than that. A lot of folks talk about hunter recruitment. Here's a great example of hunter recruitment. I'm 55, and when I was 6 years old, my dad took me on my first deer hunt. We've hunted together ever since. Now it's time for me to take Dad hunting. Who can you help hunt this year? Who can you help enjoy creation? This is more than a birthday hunt with my dad. It's a celebration of life. And we share this hunt as a form of encouragement to others that may be facing a serious illness. Here's a testimony of a man with strong faith, the prayers of his family and many friends, and a strong will to survive beating cancer. I want to personally thank all the Growing Deer viewers that have reached out to us and said they're thinking about or praying for my dad. You've truly blessed our family. It's going to be good for you to shoot another deer with. Just a few days after Dad was on the board, Matt was up to bat.
One evening, Daniel and I selected a new set of summit stands hung on the east side of Tracy's field.
Well, it's October 20th. Daniel and I are in the tree tonight. We had a cold front move through yesterday. Temperatures have dropped about 10, 12 degrees since yesterday, so it's a great time for deer movement. We're excited we're overlooking Tracy's field plot, playing the Eagle Seed broadside mix. Deer are really hammering the radishes, so we're hopeful they'll come out tonight and feed.
Well, just like clockwork, about an hour before dark, the first deer entered the plot. This doe was head down and feeding heavily on the broadside as she quickly made her way across the plot. Due to the angle of the camera, Daniel was telling me I needed to take the shot. I ranged this doe at 46 yards and read her body language. I didn't anticipate her to drop much, so I drew back the prime and settled in. The shot was true. It looked like the Havik did its job and punched through both shoulders, even at that distance.
I think that's one for the freezer.
Although no other does came into range after this, we did notice a few young bucks hanging around a persimmon tree looking for the fresh fruit. Near the end of the hunt, we enjoyed the sound of clashing antlers and got to watch a great sparring match. Well, we're right where the doe entered the woods. We've already got some blood. We're gonna take the trail. Hopefully she won't be far. Yeah, right there, there. Come right through here. I smell it. I can smell it here, here. Beautiful. Touch, put through the shoulder. Interested to see what the opposite side looks like here. Ready? Gosh, she's a big one. You see that? That is a Havik story for you right there. Worked out perfect. One more for the freezer. Gets the count up to 7, 8, something like that. For the proving grounds this year, we've got a lot more to go. As you can tell, there's a lot of deer here. So let's get her back to the shop, clean her up. It's another one for the freezer. The Havik no doubt proved deadly on this one.
With the weatherman calling for lows in the 30s, Ab and I put on another layer and we're ready to go to the stand. We had noticed heavy browse in a plot we call Big Cave, and based on the amount of feeding pressure in that area and that the night had been the coldest so far this season, we were excited to see what came and fed during the morning. We were still unpacking our gear when we noticed the first doe in the plot. We watched deer in the plot throughout the morning and even heard a few grunts off in the timber. These deer eventually worked their way out of the field and never came within range. About mid-morning, we had a surprise. Two deer approached from our downwind side and were feeding on their persimmon trees about 20 yards away. I didn't waste any time and prepared to launch a blood sport.
Thank you, Lord. About 8:30. Some persimmons right over here, and not many acorns this year, so deer really gonna feed on persimmons hard. Had a mature doe come in. Shot looked a little bit low and kind of funky, so we're not exactly sure what happened, but we are to run this way. We're gonna hunt another hour or so to take up the trail.
Well, we got down out of the tree and see scuff marks where she turned, and I can see blood right here, so we're gonna take up the trail, see where she goes. Of course, she ran right through the thick of stuff. Adam and I could hear. Sounded like she made it maybe to the edge of the ridge, so find out. A lot of blood here. I mean, just a lot of blood. No arrow. I did not make the perfect shot, as much as I hate to admit that, but I'm gonna tell you, that's a doggone bucket full of blood right there. This hunt is a perfect reminder of the attractiveness of fruit, and in this case persimmons, to deer at certain times of year. Given that deer are obviously attracted to fruit, it's easy to see the advantages of strategically planting fruit trees throughout your hunting area. Even though these were wild-grown persimmon trees, it's obvious why we're such a fan of creating tree plots. Big old nanny. Oh my gosh, yeah, right through the heart, look at that. There was another surprise at the end of this trail. Holy mackerel, look how tough that arrow is. You see that? Look at that. Anything would, look at that. I knew that was gonna slap out there. Woohoo, baby, that was a knuckle buster right there. Man, that is tough. I mean, can you believe that? I rode the doe over and that arrow was bent around it, like conforming to the body. I thought, my gosh, did that broadhead cut a crease? And I realized there's an arrow, and it didn't even break the arrow. We didn't know it, or I'd have captured that better, but she had fallen over and the arrow was literally bent around her. I mean, bent around her. You probably saw it slap my hand when it come out. And the arrow was great. I broke the knock on a rock, but the arrow is great. I actually number all my arrows when I first get them, you know, and everything. So Adam has an arrow this year he's already killed 3 does with. We're gonna have a little internal contest. Who can kill the most deer with the same arrow? I'm gonna clean this up, put a new knock in it, put it in the quiver, have it out this afternoon. Like my 5th grade teacher rapping you on the knuckles if you didn't say yes, ma'am. Pro staffer Aaron Kicklighter has been preparing for deer season all summer long, and recently he headed into a stand hoping to reap the rewards. He was overlooking a field where he had planted Eagle Seed soybeans earlier this summer and more recently planted Eagle's broadside blend in front of his stand. Aaron was in pursuit of a buck he called Tips, but after reviewing his trail camera images from that field the night before, he realized a new 10-pointer had also moved into the area. There was a bedding area to his left and a chunk of big timber with acorns to his right, a perfect transition zone. The morning Aaron hunted, the temperatures were in the 40s, and he was confident Tips, or the new 10-pointer, would be passing through the area. Overlooking this transition zone, it didn't take him long to spot the first deer. It's the new 10-pointer, and the does he's following are headed right for Aaron's stand. In addition to multitasking everything else, Aaron has a presence of mind to milk the footage and wait for this buck to present the perfect shot.
Juice! Oh, just smoked it big.
Wow, that's impressive, Aaron. Even under the pressure of seeing a good buck, you had everything under control to keep the buck in frame and then make a great shot. Aaron's brother joins him, and it's time to take up the trail.
All right, it's been about an hour since I shot that deer. I went back. My brother's going to help me film recovery. I looked at the footage. I hit him in that front shoulder. They're right behind it, but it went in good penetration, so he shouldn't be far. But we're going to look for blood up here, and then we'll go from there. All right, just crossed the fence. I can see my stand right there. And I can see a white belly and a big old buck right there. Well, here's what the prize at the end of a very short blood trail. The old G5 Havoc did him in. I could not be happier. Came out this morning actually looking for a deer I call Tips. I've been getting a lot of pictures of him on a scrape last week. This deer I got pictures of 2 nights ago. First time I got pictures of him. But I knew right away he goes on the hit list. And I mean, could not be happier. Didn't expect to see him this morning, but you never know. So I got out here, and probably the best brow tines I've ever killed on a deer for sure. Those are nice. So good buck. Like I said, a week away from having a baby, so this will give me a little free time and just
blessings seem to pile up on me. I don't know.
I would help you, but you said never stop filming, so I'm doing my job.
Great job on self-filming the hunt and making the shot, Aaron. Glad to have you on the pro staff. Next week, Adam's got a great story to tell. It's a story about a homegrown, mature Ozark buck on his family farm. Tune in, because you won't want to miss this incredible hunt. With so many hunts going on this time of year, be sure to check out the clips page at GrowingDeer.tv and stay tuned to what's going on during the week. Hunting here at the Proving Grounds is truly a family tradition. Got to take my 86-year-old dad hunting, that's one generation. I'm in the blind, and my 18-year-old daughter Raleigh taking pictures after the hunt. 3 generations of woods enjoying the hunt. You know what's more important is the bond that holds us all together. And that bond is the creator. This week, hope you take time with your family to get outside and enjoy creation, and more importantly, be the leader and share the creator with your family. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.